Hi, this is Coggett, and what I'm going to be doing today is putting together kind of a fun type video. What's got a few good funny stories in it, and it's concerning drive-in movies. I went to a fellow YouTuber, 007 Bond JB. You guys check out his channel. He's got a lot of interesting stuff on it. He's a heck of a good Cajun cook, and barbecue. He does barbecue. He does it all. And y'all check out his channel and subscribe to it. You won't be disappointed. He's got a lot of good stuff on it. But he was made a video and he was talking about different things, and the subject of drive-in movies was brought up. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a movie or a video pertaining to like the drive-in movies, and touch on like my experiences with it, and tell you a couple of stories. Then I have some interesting stuff to show you, what I've got from drive-in movies, and hope you find this interesting. Drive-in movies had since like faded out. They're no longer existing really, but back in the 50s and 60s, they were all over the place. You older people like my age will remember the drive-in movies. The younger people probably don't have the foggiest idea what one is. What a drive-in movie is you had two screens, big old screens. Some of the smaller towns only had one, and you'd line up and pay a price and drive your car, and then drive around. And they had a post set up where you'd get a speaker, and you get a speaker and bring the speaker in your car window, turn it up, and you can listen to the movie and watch it on the screen. The thing about this is finding a speaker that worked. Well, that was another thing. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some of them had a high volume, and whenever you turned it up to listen to the movie, it wasn't in no high def. It wasn't in no mono. It was kind of like that sound. In other words, you had to kind of guess what it was. Most people, when they went to a drive-in movie, they didn't even watch the drive-in movie. They had other stuff what they did. But I'm not going to get into that because some kids might be watching, and I don't want to touch on that subject. But anyway, you had a speaker, and the speaker was kind of like a I don't know, it kind of rectangle shape, and all what you had was a volume control. And you just, like I said, it hung on a post, and then you just took it, put it on rolled up your window, just set it in a window, and then you listened to it and enjoyed the movie. And back then, that was like the sound coming out of the speaker was like, wow, that's kind of like high def now. But and something else what I want to elaborate on is I think every high school kid at one time or another had one of those speakers, what he took with him as a souvenir. I myself included. I took one and wish I had it today. I don't know what I did with it. If I had it today, that thing probably worth a fortune. But like I say, they'd either have one or two screens and everything, and you just pull your car up and you sat in your car and just watched a movie and had a grand old time. Usually they had a double feature. I know the town where I live in, well, the town where I live in, Tornado Alley, Texas, they still have a movie theater. I mean, they have a drive-in. What's really cool, I've never been there. Me and Mrs. Coggett was going to someday go and check it out and just sit there and reminisce about the old times and enjoy a movie. And now they've done away with all the little post speakers. what they got is you tune it into your radio and a certain channel, and you listen to it on your radio. Better hope you have a charged battery, because if you sit there and don't start your car after about 4 hours, or 3.5, 4 hours, well, you're going to have a dead battery. And that's the way they work now. Like I say, I've never been there and experienced it, but I'd sure like to do it. Someday I will. I have a couple of funny stories to tell about the drive-ins. My uncle, back in the 50s and 60s, I remember this was around 64, 65. Yeah, I was a real young kid back then. My uncle they used to have a dollar a carload line. So what he'd do is he had a station wagon, and he would like to see if he can break the world record for cramming as many people as he can in a station wagon to take them out to a drive-in movie. And it only cost $1, and that's the carload. That's for the car. I mean, you can cram as many people, heads of people as you can in there. And he wanted to break the record. Let me tell you, I remember times when he'd get $1 and he'd run down the street and say to the neighbors, "Hey, I got $1. Let's go to the drive-in movies." And he'd like gather up all the kids and stuff, and we'd all pack into his station wagon and take off and go to the movies, drive-in movie there. And when we got to the movies, they had like a playground there for the kids. They'd have swing sets and merry-go-rounds and all kinds of stuff for the kids to play in, and sandboxes and what have you, while the parents sat back and enjoyed the movie. That'd keep the kids occupied. What's funny about the story is, back then there was always like I knew my brother, he was smaller than me and younger, but I knew that he hated when a baby pooped or whatever. He just couldn't stand it. He'd puke. So I'd sitting back there, and there would always be that little baby around what had just the diaper on, and it'd be droopy, and wouldn't have a shirt, no pants or nothing, just the diaper, and would be standing up there or moving around in the back of the station wagon as we was driving. And I'd be sitting next to my brother, and I'd tell him like, "Look at that baby's diaper. It's drooping and it's loaded with poop." My brother would then start kind of heaving, because he'd start thinking about it, and then he'd heave, and eventually he'd puke. Well, it's got all the other kids what was in the car puking. And I remember my mom told my uncle, Leroy, said, "Leroy, you need to pull over." Got them all puking back there, and they'd take them out and clean everybody up. And I thought it was funny at the time, but it was just a good time back then, and I thought it was a blast, just to see how many people he could cram in there. Oh, and something else, what my mom used to do before we went to the drive-in movies, she'd get these grocery sacks, these brown grocery sacks, and she'd pop popcorn and fill those things up with popcorn and make a gallon of a lemonade or Kool-Aid or something to take with us with some cups, so we didn't have to buy anything at the snack bar. We'd have it right there. And that's the way my mom was. That's one story. Another funny story is my brother, when he bought a brand new car. I was at home one day, and my brother come driving up and told me, he said, "I just bought myself a brand new car." He says, "Come out and look at it." So I went out there and looked at it. He had a 1963 Wildcat convertible, and it's a Buick Wildcat convertible, 63 model, and it was a convertible. And he told me, he says, "I've already lined it up where we can take these girls out to the drive-ins, and they're ready to go and everything, and we'll pick them up and go to the drive-in." So we did that. We drove by their house and picked them up and went to the drive-in. And my brother was, of course, he was driving and had his girl in the front seat, and then I had the other girl in the back seat, and really didn't know her or anything. And we went to the drive-in movies. These girls were nice looking girls. I mean, they weren't ugly or anything by any chance. And we got to the drive-in movies, and my brother went to the snack bar and brought a bunch of food and everything. We was sitting there eating it. Well, we was watching the movies, and I got through the first movie. It was pretty good. I don't remember exactly what the movie was, but we got through the first movie. And on the second movie, I noticed that it was kind of lightning in the background. It was kind of like lightning flashes. I'm like, I hope it don't rain. And of course, the rain did move in, and the rain started moving in, and it started like sprinkling and everything, and then it started like raining. I told my brother, I said, go ahead and raise the top. It's starting to rain. So he says, that's no problem. So he hit a button, and the top raised up and everything, and it come across. I remember seeing it come across. And I'm like looking up, but I'm like, I'm still getting wet. What's the deal here? What it was it didn't have the top to it. What it had was just the rails, just the skeleton. In other words, it didn't have a top. It had the skeleton to it. And I'm like, wow, what are we going to do now? We're sitting there like getting wet. The girls got all mad. They said, we're going to call our parents, come and get us, and you're nothing but a bunch of losers, da 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 da. And used a few other choice words as they stormed out. Of course, I tried to tell them to hold on and come on back, but that didn't work. So my brother was sitting there and we was getting wet, so I said, well, I guess we better just go on home while we're sitting here just getting soaked. So my brother said, okay, that's no problem. He started up, went and turned on the lights. Well, there's no headlights, and it's pitch dark, you know. And I said, well, and at least turn on the wipers. He turned on the wipers. There was no wipers. So the headlights didn't work, the wipers didn't work, and they didn't have a top to it. And I told him, I said, hey, when you bought this car, didn't you check it out? He said, well, when I bought it, the sun was out and the top was down. He said, it wasn't dark, so I didn't need to turn on the lights, and it wasn't raining, so I didn't need the wipers. So there you go. So anyway, we started driving home with no wipers, getting soaking wet and everything, no headlights. It's a wonder we didn't get stopped by the local police, but we didn't. We made it all the way home. How we did, I don't know, because there's no way we could really see where we're going. And he was driving that 63 Buick Wildcat convertible and just enjoying it. And I just kind of laughed. And back before he passed away, I brought that little incident up, and we sat back and had a good laugh about it. And I just wanted to share it with you because it's a funny story, really. And it's just, we had a lot of fun back then at the drive-ins and stuff. And something else what the drive-ins used to do is they used to have like movie theaters and this is like the inside, not the drive-ins itself, but the drive-ins did have them, little movie posters and stuff, but mostly that was like for the inside movies. Now I remember back in the 70s, let's see, in the 70s, in 1970, and I was like 13 years old at the time. And what I'd do is I'd catch the bus and ride into town and go into an inside movie and watch it. And I think it cost me something like I think it was 50 cents or something like that. And that 50 cents got me inside, got me a popcorn and a Coke and candy and everything else. And I would always ask the guy running the place if there's any way I could have like the movie posters, like the movie posters and everything. And he said, yeah, I'll see what I can do for you. So I want to share a few of them what I have and movies what I've seen at the movie theaters in my hometown and everything, and I'll show you what they have. Back in the day, what they used to do when they have a lobby, they'd have a lobby set up, and then they'd have what they call lobby cards. And a lobby card was like this. Go ahead and see if I can get it closer. This is what they call a lobby card. And this is pertaining to a certain movie, which this one is a 1970 movie of Tick, Tick, Tick. It starred George Kennedy and Jim Brown, the football player. I think he played for the Cleveland Browns or something. But what the story is on this, and I used to have the movie poster, and I don't know what happened to it. I lost it somewhere, but this is an excellent movie, and I haven't been able to find it on DVD. I don't even think they have it on DVD. I saw it a few times on the regular channels, but if you ever get a chance, this is really a good movie. What it is, it's about a southern town what elects a black sheriff, and the town doesn't really approve of that. And George Kennedy was a former sheriff, what in time becomes his deputy, and things it's a really good movie. But they had lobby cards, and I'll show you these lobby cards, what I got from the movie theaters. And this one's pertaining to Tick, Tick, Tick. And this is a bridge scene here. This is another scene. This is a pool room scene. And another bridge scene there. In the movie, there's a bridge, and some guys from another county is coming over to bust this guy out of jail, and these are the townspeople what's going to keep them from it. And it just like is a real good movie. I remember this is a mayor, and he doesn't approve of him. This is a guy was applying for a job as deputy, and he ends up getting the deputy. I love this movie. I've seen it so many times on TV and everything. And this is a guy what they're trying to bust out. He was drunk and ran into this lady's kid and killed a little kid and everything. And it's really a good movie. And these are the black people when he's elected sheriff and everything. And they're just like ecstatic about it. And this is a really good movie. This is one of my old-time favorites. And I hope someday they bring this one back to the DVD where I can buy it. And I hope they put it on Blu-ray, because I'll be the first in line to buy it, because this is it's a fantastic movie. What I have here is I have some movie posters. What I got from the theaters, and they're like real torn up. They're kind of torn up, and these are full-length posters. And this one is I Walk the Line. I'll kind of move it down. I can't get a shot with the whole thing in. I think I'm just not going to happen here. But this is I Walk the Line, and it has Gregory Peck and Tuesday Weld in it, and it's just good. It's a real good movie. This one's out on DVD, and I bought this one and this one came out in 1970. And I remember going to the movie theaters and seeing this one. Another good movie what I saw at the movie theaters, and this one is in 1971. Man, these are tearing up. And this is The Hard Ride. As you can see, part of it's gone already, and that's the way I got it from the theater. I don't know what happened there. But this is another good movie. Come out in 1971. It's got Robert Fuller in it. And Robert Fuller was a guy from, if you remember the series Emergency, he's from Emergency. And what the story is about here is he was in the war with a friend of his, and his friend gave him this bike, and the bike's name is Baby, and he wanted him to take care of it, but all these other outlaw biker gangs are after the bike, and it's just a real good movie. It's fantastic, I think, and for its time, it's got a real good story and everything to it. See what else I got here. Got one here. Chrome and Hot Leather. This is another biker movie. Back in the 70s, they had a bunch of biker movies. This came out in 1971, basically about the same time as The Hard Ride. Back during that time, they had a bunch of biker movies what they produced and everything, what was a big hit for everything. And I saw this one. I'm not sure if you can get this one in like on DVD or not. I haven't even looked for it. That one wasn't one of my favorites, so I never really checked into it. And then a fun movie, and I have this one on DVD, is The Thunder and Lightning. This is it come out in 1977, and it's one heck of a fun movie. If you like just a good fun movie where you can sit back and relax and just have a good laugh, and it keeps you laughing all the way through it, is this movie here. And it starred David Carradine and Kate Jackson. David Carradine from the Kung Fu series, and Kate Jackson, of course, from the Charlie's Angel series. And it just this is just a fun movie. It just, if you ever get a chance to watch it, I don't think you'll be disappointed, because it's just it's a heck of a lot of fun. And what's good about this movie is there's car crashes, there's car chases, and everything going on, but nobody gets killed. There's nobody what gets killed in it, and that's what makes it so good and fun. Now another movie what I've seen, and this one came out in 1973, and it starred a Playboy centerfold, which she used to be my heartthrob. I mean, I thought this lady was the most beautiful lady in the world, and she died in October 3rd of 1979 in a car crash, and the name of the movie is Gator Bait, and it's got Claudia Jennings. Claudia Jennings was the star of this, and it's Gator Bait, and this one came out in 1973, and it's about a lady that lives in a swamp in Louisiana, and she's like poaching to take care of her brothers and sisters. Some as I believe the mama passed away or something like that. And this is a original movie poster what I got from the movies, and watched this movie. And she's also come out in Great Texas Dynamite Chase, Truck Stop Women, and a bunch of others what was real big going hits back then for the drive-ins. These are like kind of the drive-in movies. And this is Gator Bait. Hey, I want to say something else. Is 007 Bond JB. If you'd like to have this poster here to hang in your office or garage or wherever you like, I'd be more than happy to send it to you. So just let me know, and I'll get it out to you. And that's all the posters I have and everything, and I just wanted to share it with you and share a couple of stories on my experiences at the drive-in movies and movie theaters and everything. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you're some of the older folks, you'll enjoy listening to nostalgic stuff, and this kind of just brought back a whole lot of memories. When 007 Bond JB brought that up, it brought back a whole lot of memories of good, fond memories and happy memories of back when I was younger and we used to go to drive-ins and movie theaters and everything and just have a real good time. And I hope you enjoyed the movie. I hope you enjoyed this video. And check out my channel. I have more interesting videos on it. And I appreciate you watching. And I hope you found this pretty entertaining. That's why I did it for, is mostly entertainment. And y'all take care.